Welcome to another episode where we get to meet amazing people doing great changes in the world. And I'm your host, Jennifer, and I'm so excited to be able to introduce you to another amazing guest speaker. And today we're going to get to meet Claire Bosch Scott, who's going to introduce us to an amazing philosophy and lifestyle to help us have a more balanced and peaceful life. So, without ado, let's now introduce you to amazing Claire Bosch Scott. Hello, Claire.
Oh, it's lovely to be with you here today. Thank you very much for having me.
I'm just so excited to be able to have you here today. You have so many skills, so many talents. And one of them is this amazing philosophy of feng shui. And I hope that I've said it correctly. Please correct me if I'm mistaken. And is it okay?
Everybody says it with a different way, so it doesn't really matter how you're saying it. People understand it. And but being French, I say feng shui, so because I'm French. So, some people say feng shui, it just really depends. But, at the end of the day, in China, they had different language themselves. So they were calling it different ways as well. So I wouldn't worry too much about how to say it.
Thank you. It's very kind. I know that, we've talked about this particular philosophy throughout the ages. It's been around quite some time.
Yeah, so I mean, it is something that, 5,000 years ago, the Chinese were practicing Feng Shui, and really kind of the whole idea of it, it's creating better lifestyle for you, and, having a harmonious house where you've got prosperity, where you've got happy family, and at the time that's what they were trying to achieve. And isn't it what we all try to achieve, have a beautiful life, happy family lives, a real nice balance between things. So throughout the years, it's some of the practice have changed a little bit. Some of the things have been translated in a different ways, but the principles of it are still the same. And so it's really interesting that, 5,000 years ago, they still existed, and now it's still there. And, people still really enjoy the method and enjoy the principles, because it is so natural, and it creates something that, you feel good. We all want to feel good, don't we?
That's a really, really good point. With that said, having discussed how it can bring peace and harmony into life and a sense of balance, we are going through such unprecedented times, and there's so much anxiety and stress in the world today. What a great tool to be able to share with the world and our local and global family to support them. Can we speak to that a little bit more in terms of how feng shui can support with anxiety and stress?
Totally, and I think this is the thing. There's a somatic researchers. I don't know if you're aware of somatic researchers, which says that actually our body and mind correlate directly. So if you think negative thinking, if you start being anxious, you're going to feel that way, and you're going to behave that way. You're going to behave in a manner where you'll be stressed, you'll be, moving everything, you'll be not wanted to go out. And so all that are state working together. And that's what's happening. Once we understand that our state are all relating to each other, you start thinking that actually everything, that all the energy from the outside who comes around us and actually attack us in a certain way will affect our inner energy. So they both work together. The outer energy and the inner energy work together. And that's what's happening when anxiety, things get out of control, right? And in your mind, things are going ahead. You just, constantly thinking about, the negative. It really triggers that mindset. So when you have a home, perhaps with a lot of clutter around, because clutter is feel safe. People keep things because they feel safe with, their things around. They've got perhaps very old things that keeps them in the past. so they feel that, that keeps them in a safe environment. This is probably one of the worst thing possible, is having all that clutter and all those things who keeps you in that negative pattern. So you really want to start looking at what's going on around you and start getting rid of the old stuff, the stuff that doesn't make you happy, the stuff that reminds you from your ex-marriage, the stuff that, you're looking at photos or ornaments that you've been given and you hate it. So every time you walk past, your hate energy goes there. Instead of keeping that positive, good energy, you giving out bad energy and you're receiving bad energy. And that's that vicious circle, isn't it? Your environment is negative, you're going to be negative, you're never going to be moving forward. So it really is those triggers that you need to look for. So think about, if you are in that space at the moment, look at around you, look at your space, declutter the things that you don't need. Do you love it? Do you need it? Do you use it? 3 simple questions you need to ask yourself. And anything else, go. Does it bring you joy? Do you feel happy when you're looking at it? Do you have things around you that makes you happy? Do you have flowers? Do you have plants? Do you have things that makes you smell? Using our 5 senses is so powerful. So it connects directly to your emotional connections. So things like, for example, lavender or yang yang, it will calm you down and it will bring that kind of yin energy. So perhaps now we're going a little bit into the principles of feng shui, which is the yin and yang. So the main principle is the qi, which is the energy, and of course the yin and yang, which is that feminine and masculine energy. And one can't go without the other. It's the law of polarity. You just cannot go one without the other. And there's never just yang energy or just yin energy. There's always, and that's why you see in a Taos, there's always a little dot of one and a little dot of the other, because you can't be 150% or 150 miles an hour 24/7 365 days. You would burn out. And that's what happens with people who are too much, burning out, because they're all constantly in that yang energy. They're constantly in that acting, doing, let's do more, let's act more. And they forget to spend a bit of time recharging those batteries. They forget to sit down, close their eyes, take a deep breath, and really connect with their emotional levels. And that's, we need to have a real better balance between both. And that's the same for our head. That is the same for our space. So in your space, you can't just have red colors everywhere, painted red walls and red carpets and a red sofa. You would never sit down and watch the television and relax if you were doing like that. Yeah. You need to have a balance of yin and yang, And so this is what Feng Shui is about. It's about teaching, some principles that will create better environment as well.
Yeah, some very powerful, tangible, and practical tools we can use.